What's up, everybody? It is Amrinder Singh, and today I'm gonna teach you another vocabulary. I think these are very important, so I don't want to waste your time. So let's kick this thing off. So the first word is nuksan or kata. All right. So what is the meaning of nuksan or kata? So nuksan means damage, right? And kata means could have like a couple of meanings. It could also mean damage. It also means when something is decreased, right? So for example, if I give you example, let's say you're running a business, right? And maybe this year you didn't like make that much profit, right? You see some kind of like a decrease in your profit, or maybe it's negative, your profit is negative, right? You didn't get any profit. So in this case you can use like ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਯਾਰ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ, ਜਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਜਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ. So yeah, I think mostly the ਘਾਟਾ is a better word here, right? Like if you didn't get the profit, people say ਘਾਟਾ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ, right? Mostly people talk about like here in Punjab, as you guys know, people mostly do farming. If they didn't get much profit, money they expected, or it's less than a normal from their crops, whatever, this actually the ਘਾਟਾ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ, right? Nuksan is basically used a little bit like, it's kind of stronger word. Like if they like a farmer is growing a crops whatever, and it destroyed whatever the reason, maybe because of the weather, whatever, they didn't get any money, right? That time they say actually the nuksan ho gaya, right? या फसल ਦਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. But like normally if they get some kind of profit, but it's not the normal, it's still low, right? But they got something out of it. How that time they will say like like the cut up again, right? Cut up again. The nuksan is more hard. um yeah, I'm only talking about in this case when somebody is got a profit, not they didn't get the profit, right? But basically nuksan means a damage, right? Damage. And kata means when it's some kind of your profit is decreased. Another case, like for example, if your car you hit somewhere whatever and it's damaged, right? That time you don't say like a cut up again. Meri car nu cut up. You don't say that. So you will say meri car da nuksan ho gaya, right? Because your car is damaged. Yeah, you can also use like a cut up again. You won't use car in that. You will say like ਹਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੇ ਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਘਾਟਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਸੋ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਇਟ ਮੀਨਸ ਆਈ ਗਾਟ ਦਾ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ, ਮਾਈ ਕਾਰ ਇਜ਼ ਡੈਮੇਜਡ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਘਾਟਾ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਘਾਟਾ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ means now I have to spend the money, right? So the money is going to out of my pocket, right? So your profit whatever is going to be decreased, your cash is going to be decreased, something like that, right? So yeah, that is the difference between kata and nuksan. They are also similar. They are also similar in some cases. Sometimes people use um, nuksan as a kata. Sometimes it's different, right? So yeah, they are pretty close sometimes. So next word, which is opposite, faida and lav, right? Faida is kind of when you get some kind of profit or advantage, right? um so basically the faida is more common and colloquial way of talking, and lab is very rare. It's only exist I think in textbook, maybe you heard very less, all right? So yeah, all the time you will say, if you got the profit you will say faida ho gaya. Like for example, let's say you bought a car maybe 2 years ago, now you sell it, right? I can ask you, फिर किमें तेन फायदा होया कि नुकसान होया, right? Did you get the benefit or not? did you get the profit or not, right? So yeah, if you sold it on the like a higher price, you get some kind of benefit, some kind of like a profit. You could say like हाँ मैंने फायदा होया. If you didn't get the profit, you can say मैंने नुकसान हो गया या मैंने घाटा पै गया. Alright, that's what you say. So yeah, it's same thing. You can use with more example, right? So yeah, so next word is pada. All right, so these are the random words. It was just coming in my mind. I wrote some words, so I wanna teach you. I think this is really good words. So pada, right, and sleep. These two words are opposite, right? Let's talk about pada. What is the meaning of pada? It could have few meanings like number one, pada. Pada is who is dangerous, some kind of dangerous, you can say. Like it's also another word for pada in Punjabi, which is khatarnak, right? Oh, khatarnak. He is very dangerous. Pada. Pada means also kind of dangerous. It could also mean like a badass guy, a tough guy, whatever. It depends how they're using. If I said oh banda bahut pada, right? It could mean could he could be a dangerous man. He could be a tough guy, whatever. Pada. So it could be he is aggressive, something like that. All right. So another situation, if I say to you like don't wear this dress, right? ਤੂੰ ਭੈੜਾ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਭੈੜੀ ਲੱਗੇਗੀ. ਆਹ ਡਰੈਸ ਨਾ ਪਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਇਹ ਡਰੈਸ ਪਾਈ ਤਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਭੈੜਾ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਭੈੜੀ ਲੱਗੇਗੀ. Now it means I'm just saying to you don't wear this dress. If you wear that, you're not gonna look good in that dress. Or probably you're gonna look ugly, whatever, right? So in this case, pada means which is not good, which is ugly, something like that. Yeah, sometimes people also use like if somebody's face is ugly, people say like oh the badsurat. People also use sometimes because he is ugly, he or she, whatever. Sometimes people say oh the move bahut peda, right? Oda move bahut peda means he is ugly. Yeah, sometimes people can say oda move bahut peda. It could be like his face is probably not ugly, but it looks a little dangerous, right? So it depends. It all depends on the context. So yeah. So another word is serif, right? Serif is basically opposite when it comes to like if we're talking about danger, something like aggressive guy. Serif is kind of like a kind guy, kindness, right? If somebody say, "Oh, about Sharif Munda," right? It means he is a kind guy or he is a nice guy, right? That's what it means, Sharif. So another word is nakamma or vikar, right? Vikar. Vekar. I think Vekar, not Vikar. Vekar, alright? Nakama and the Vekar word is pretty similar. Yeah, somebody, if you. Nakama is basically means like a worthless. If something is worthless, you can call Nakama, right? Even it's also used for people. Like if you see somebody who didn't do anything, any work, he just drinking alcohol all day, right? So people say "ਉਹਦਾ ਨਿਕੰਮਾ ਗਾ" ਜਾਂ "ਉਹਦਾ ਨਿਕੰਮਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਗਾ," right? So it means whatever, he's worthless, he didn't do anything, right? People also say "ਉਹਦਾ ਬੇਕਾਰ ਆ," right? "ਉਹਦਾ ਬੇਕਾਰ ਬੰਦਾ," something like that. Nikamma banda and bekar banda. Yeah, sometimes people just use it. If they don't like somebody, it doesn't matter. Even they could be a good person, whatever. If they just don't like, they would use it like "oda nikamma banda," "oda bekar banda," something like that. Because they don't like, right? That's why they think they're worthless, whatever, right? That's the meaning of nikamma and bekar. Yeah, you can also use this thing for things like if you if you're talking about a car or whatever, and you know that that car is not good, whatever the reason, maybe it didn't have much safety, whatever the reason, you can say the nakammi car, right? It's a nakammi car, it's a weaker car, or something like that. That's how you can use also for things. So another word is kharch or kharcha, right? Kharch or kharcha basically the same thing. Sometimes people use kharch or something kharcha. It means kind of your expenses, right? Expenses. um so yeah, you can use like these words. For example, you organize a party, whatever, and party finished. After that, if I just want to know like how much it cost you, right? I will say फिर कितना खर्चा हो गया, right? How much you spend, how much it cost you, right? कितना खर्चा हो गया, और फिर पार्टी ते कितना खर्चा हो गया, right? खर्चा हो गया. Some people say कितना खर्च हो गया. खर्च हो गया और खर्चा हो गया the same thing, right? Which means your expenses. If you just want to know the expenses of somebody, like what are your expenses of month, right? You can say तेरा महीने का कितना खर्चा, right? Like how much you have to spend in a month to live, whatever. तेरा महीने का कितना खर्चा और खर्चा. Yeah, something like that. So another word is brola. All right. Some people say vavrola, some people say brola. So it means just tornado. All right. A lot of people who live in US, they know the big tornadoes. We don't have big tornadoes, but we have like a little small ones which didn't like damage anything. But you can see a tornado. Mostly we got it these kind of in April or May. Yeah, it's not that stronger, right? So yeah, it's kind of little tornado. So yeah, it is not like it's not like the clouds and like thunderstorm. It's not like that. It's just air, right? It's just wind is just like rolling, and you can see some kind of dust sand in it. So yeah, that's it. So there's no like a raining stuff like that. This is not the tornado like you see in the movies on in USA in news channel. It's little tornado, just tornado. All right. So yeah, it means like a brola or vavrola. Yeah, we use it because we get these kind of like vroli, right? In March or April. So another word is net or roj. All right. So it means both word means is every day. So roj, right? Mostly in books you will see like har roj, right? I go to the gym. If you wanna say I go to the gym every day, right? Probably if you see this is a written on the book, something like that, they will say मैं हर रोज gym ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹਾਂ, something like that, all right? हर रोज. But when we talk, we don't use हर रोज. We just eliminate at the beginning. We eliminate the har. We just use रोज. मैं रोज gym जाना, right? रोज, which means every day or daily. The net, yeah, net is same. It's no difference. You can also say मैं net gym जाना. You can also say मैं रोज gym जाना. It depends. Some people use more net, some people use more roj, right? In my area where I live, I use roj. So roj is also an animal in animal name in Punjabi. So yeah, so I don't know what you call it in English, but basically it's like a moose, right? The people who live in Canada, they know the moose, right? They're bigger animals. But the roach is kind of like a moose, like, but it's not that big. It's a little smaller. Not, it's like a, yeah, its size is like a cow. Yeah, it's bigger as a cow. But it's like a structure is like a moose, right? So another word is slabba or slob. All right. Yeah, it means kind of like when you can see some kind of moisture, right? Moisture. For example, if you drying your clothes, whatever, in dryer or maybe in the sun, whatever, and you check when you're trying to check it, you know like they are not wet anymore, but they are not completely dry. You can feel like a little bit like moisture in it. That time you use like a the salabe kapde, right? It's a slab. So there's moisture in the clothes. Yeah, slab is also basically, people use this word slab like if there's a wall, maybe there's also water going around the wall and you can see it like it get the moisture, right? Yeah, that's also slab. All right. So yeah, so basically for clothes people use like a slabbe or slabba, if singular slabba, for plural slabbe, right? And when it comes to as a noun, if you just only talking about the word of moisture, so it's kind of slab. All right. All right, so the last word is mekhar, right? What is the meaning of mekhar? Mekhar means is basically honey, all right? Honey. But I think, yeah, some people also call it shad. I think this is also more a standard word. Shad. It's also written in the books. Shad, which means honey. But in some area, we also call it mekhar, right? So yeah, you can also hear like as a mekhar or as like a shad. So why people call it mekhar? Because the makhiya, right? The makhi means bee. It could also mean fly, right? For like basically the word makhi we use also for fly. We also use it for a bee. The difference is we say just mekhar di makhi. Mekhar di makhi means bee, right? So it becomes from like a bee, so which is makhia. That's why I think people call it makyar, because it came from makhi. All right, makyar. So yeah, some people call it shad. So yeah, that was it.
So, if you think you are getting the value from this podcast and you wanna support this podcast, then you can support it through Patreon and PayPal. Links are in the description. Everything would be appreciated. It would also help this podcast to grow more. By the way, if you had time to understand Punjabi pronouns like active pronouns, passive pronouns, possessive pronouns, then check out my new ebook. It's completely free. Link is in the description. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and learned something new today. I'll be back with another lesson in another day.